and welcome back. And I want to welcome all of the newcomers as well. This is Terry. This is another edition of An Orchid A Day. Today again I'm going to look at some of my persovalas, my species, and also my hybrids, talk about some of those. Don't really show these that much because some of them don't bloom as often as I'd like them to in past years. Some more than others, but this seems to be a better year. I'm happy with the growth that they are doing despite not blooming. So I have them in the pots. And actually, on that side note, I do think for me, most persovalas bloom towards the end of the growing season. They bloom more in the fall and the winter. So even though I'm saying that they haven't bloomed for me, it is still possible. And the way that they have maintained their green tips, the majority of them, I mean, it is quite possible. You never know. But pulling them out one by one, I mean, this is a species I know. This is my flagellaris. Of course, like I said, these have never bloomed for me, but again, it's put up a couple new growths. And you can see laying down nice big roots, fat tip roots that are completely all around. The mount, that is a species, as I said, persovalas come from primarily Central and South America. This is George Tyler crossed with Cuculata. This is a new hybrid that Peter Lynn made. But you can see how it is all over this little homemade cork that I made last year. It was mounted on here January of 20, but I've had this for probably going on a year now, and it has put on some new growth. I think this is called something cuckoo, crazy cuckoo maybe. But yeah, George Tyler is flagellaris crossed with Cuculata, and so that would be crossed back to Cuculata. So yeah, expecting good things from that. And these all sit high up under 50% shade cloth. Maybe it's 40% shade cloth. But yeah, they sit way to the back, where in this, I need to peel some of my wisteria back today. But that's where that sits. And this is another new hybrid of Peter's. This is two species, primary hybrid, perenni, crossed with Persovala acalis. And you can see the roots on that without it even being in focus. A fairly recent mount. And this one sits back here as such, high up next to my perenni, which, as you know, it's got a couple buds back here, right there. This one is my crazy arachno that I've talked about as being one of my dream hybrids that I have. This is Cuculata crossed with perenni, and you can see the roots on that, nice and green from being watered. And they all sit in the same area like a family, towards the back of the cage, high up. And then this last one is my Cuculata that is recovering pretty nicely. You can see the roots, despite the scruffy looking nature of it, but there are still roots and there's putting out a new growth. So it will be just fine. Now down to this one, I'll just briefly go over this one. This is a species as well. This is my Marciana that I just got from Orchid Trail earlier this summer. Marciana. And this is also a species, as I've already said, but you can see the roots that are all over it. Did put up that new growth. That's right, poking me in the eye right there. Hangs up here. This is a species. This is my subulifolia, which used to be cordata. And you can see those roots. It's put up nice new growths. These two new growths. And I thought there was another one coming up. Maybe not. And this hangs right here next to perennial. Right there. This is Little Stars times Cuculata mounted. This is up here. And this is the last one that I'll show. This is another very nice primary hybrid. This is George Tyler. And you can see how it has just mounted itself onto that piece of chala wood. All those nice green tips. It's putting out that new growth right there. And that one. So yeah, that's just a little update on some of my prized Brassavola hybrids and species. A couple blooms right here. This is also a primary hybrid if I didn't say. This is the Brassavola Miyaka Stars Regina times Brassavola subulifolia, which is that. Regina is a cooler growing Brassavola that I would never be able to grow successfully, unfortunately. Before I go off, I do have to show you the Bible, what it says on Brassavolas. Now, it also pronounces it, you can see, Brassavola. Epidendri, lalini, moist or wet forest, trees at elevations of sea level, easily cultivated under intermediate conditions, attractive long-lasting flowers that are highly fragrant at night. And there's some of the flowers, the various species. So yeah, folks. Thanks for watching. You know, one more thing that I'm going to say is that did say that they like moist conditions. I would say they like a wet, dry condition. I don't want to be putting out there that they just like wet, like sphagnum moss wet. Clarify that they do like a lot of water while they are in active growth, but they like to be dry by the end of the night. Therefore, they do like to be potted in a well-drained media, or for me, I can only grow them mounted. I can grow them in the pot, I guess I should say, but they grow better mounted for me because I can water them like they like to be watered and like I generally water, which is overwatering. But anyway, folks, I just thought I'd clarify that. Any confusion? Just not to put it out there, just to water, because that's not what that meant. So anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy your orchids. Bye.